So this is my recap of episode 2 of Dexter Original Sin. Episode 2 is entitled Kid in a Candy Store. So Dexter is excited about his new job after his first kill, being Nurse Mary. Tanya approaches him, letting him know that this ain't the Little League and that mistakes will not be tolerated. She then gave him a beeper to hold on to. We then see a kid being kidnapped by a masked man as he's locked into a vault. Next we see Harry and his colleagues discussing the missing kid, whose name is Jimmy. Apparently it's Judge Powell's missing child. Captain Mustache thinks it's the cartel who did it. Harry has a flashback of back in the day when he and Watt were assigned the Estrada case and how he was instructed to get a foot in the door with someone that the drug lords trusted. Back to the present, where Captain Mustache then informs everyone that there's a drug-related homicide that just occurred and called for everyone, including Dexter, to get to work on it. Harry expressed his concern to Dexter about him working with him and how he wants him to consider his future, especially after doing the deed to Nurse Mary. Dexter goes to the crime scene to see the victim's body. He's beyond ecstatic, of course. Tanya arrived and sends his ass to get coffee for everybody. Damn, Tanya. We then see Deb with her friend who apparently loves Dexter's ass. And I'm like, girl, you might be onto something. You might be onto something. Deb wants some new shades, and her friend suggests pawning some things so that she could get the cash. Dexter returns to the crime scene with everyone's coffee when Tanya gives him a checklist to complete for the crime scene. Sarah Michelle Gellar looks great, by the way. She looks so good. Dexter envisions exactly how the murder took place and shared it with everyone. They clowned him. Poor kid, because he thought he figured it out and figured out details that everyone already knew. Harry then has a flashback to his work on the Estrada case. He buys drugs from a guy named Joe and busts him. I believe the woman that Joe was with was Dexter's mom, Laura. We then go back to the present where we see Judge Powell's kid locked in the vault still. Next, Dexter has lunch with all his colleagues and is excited to finally have some friends. Vince then presents him with his new Miami Metro laminate. As they're eating, Watt says he's watching his cholesterol and Dexter clowned his ass. A little payback. But no one found it funny. Everyone was super sensitive and told him that it wasn't funny, and I'm like, damn, you guys need to lighten up. Judge Powell's kid, Jimmy, is still locked in the vault. The masked man shows up to give him a bougie Lunchable. At the Morgan residence, Deb prepares tofu kebabs for Harry's heart-healthy dinner, but he is not having that shit, so that pisses Deb off and she storms out. Dexter is in bed, shirtless, and he looks good. He looks good. He has a hard-on for Nurse Mary's earrings. The next morning we see Harry shirtless, and he also looks damn good. Goddamn, Christian Slater, you look good. He has another flashback to the Estrada case. They can't get Joe to talk at all, so Harry gets Laura to talk. He convinces her by telling her that he'll make sure she gets home to see her boys if she helps them. Captain Mustache approves. Back to the present where we see Deb pissed with Harry for telling her to get over her mother's death. She is not for his shit at all, and they all need therapy. At work, Harry asks Angel to take Dexter out in hopes of soothing some of his social awkwardness. Angel agrees to. Tanya arrives to work and gives Dexter an assignment. As he's completing his assignment, he's going through old cases that allows him to look at the bodies of victims. His dick is hard from this, of course. Captain Mustache and Harry are in court for Levi Reed's hearing, whom they busted in episode 1. He pleads not guilty. The judge privately asks Harry if they have any leads on Powell's son. Harry tells the judge that he thinks that the kidnapping is related to the cartel. Harry has another flashback to Doris this time. They've been trying to get pregnant but no luck. Doris is frustrated by this news. Also, their son in episode 1, I'm guessing, died? I don't know why in episode 1 I thought that the kid in the pool was Dexter, but I think it was a son that they had prior who just ended up dying, perhaps. Anyway, Doris is of course frustrated by this news, as she should be. Back to the present, where we see Deb looking for things to pawn so she can get her shades. She goes through Dexter's room and finds Nurse Mary's earrings, and I'm like, oh shit, this won't end well. That night, Angel takes Dexter out to a bar, but Dexter isn't 21, so can't drink, and I'm like, so why am I at a bar, Angel? Angel wants to salsa dance, but Dexter can't dance, which I clocked. Okay, he's too stiff. No further comments. Everyone at the bar takes a shot in honor of a kid named Renee, a former busboy at the bar. Renee borrowed money from the wrong guy, and his mom ended up dead. Dexter recognized Renee's mother from the files he was viewing earlier. A week after Renee's death, he killed himself at his mother's gravesite. Farrer is the guy responsible for Renee's mother's death, and Dexter learned that he's still out there. Judge Powell's kid, Jimmy, is still locked away eating bougie Lunchables, but now the masked man seems to have cut his finger off. Next, we see Deb attempting to pawn Nurse Mary's earrings, but can't because they're fake. The pawn shop owner wants her pearls instead, which belonged to her mother. He made her an offer she just couldn't refuse. She then gave Mary's earrings to her friend, which again, how's this gonna end? At work, we see a woman, Brandy, vouching for Levi Reed's alibi, but Harry ain't having that shit because she don't even know what day it is. He tells her she's a useless like a white crayon. And the way I hollered, bitch. That shit. You gonna tell somebody they are useless like a white crayon, please? Harry has another flashback where he's with Laura. He tells her nothing will happen to her. And this is where we meet her two sons, Brian and Dexter. I clocked it in my last video when I said I wasn't sure if Harry was his real father, but that leaves me to wonder what happened to his brother Brian. At the station, we see Captain Mustache giving Tanya Jimmy's finger that was cut off by the masked man. Captain Mustache doesn't believe Jimmy is dead, however. This pissed Dexter off. He wanted to kill the man responsible for Jimmy's kidnapping. He couldn't do that because this guy had so much heat on him, so instead decides to feed his urge by targeting Farrer, the man who killed Renee's mother. Dexter fed the darkness within. Sidebar, I'm just now realizing that young Dexter is fine. Okay? Seeing him without that shirt and then the haircut, he looked good. Okay, so this is episode 2 of Dexter Original Sin. I'm not gonna say I am ecstatic about this show, but I think it's good so far, and I like the actors, and I like the characters, and I like the story. So yes, let's talk in the comments.